a completely normal or minor thing that irrationally gets under your skin, but most people don't seem bothered by it. Story 1. Not shutting off alarms when they go off. My wife can hear her alarm, get up, get dressed, and head down to start breakfast, and the blaring alarm doesn't bother her enough to turn it off. Story 2. Stopping in the middle of foot traffic to look at your phone. Take in the view, pick your nose. Even if I can go around you, the sheer lack of consideration for others drives me insane. Story 3. The overuse of the words narcissist and projecting. It's TikTok pop psychology, and more often than not used incorrectly by people who have a tenuous grasp on the concept in general. Story 4. People with zero spatial awareness. I became more cognizant of this during the pandemic, but some people really seem to walk around as if they have universal right-of-way, and that no one else's personal space should be respected. Stopping in the middle of a busy walkway to stare at a wall, walking slowly in the middle of the sidewalk and not giving way to someone walking or running by. Near running me over with their shopping cart when exiting an aisle instead of waiting 1 second for me to pass by. Breathing down my neck while waiting in line, nearly stepping on my toes while I'm sitting on a bench, even though there's plenty of space to give me breathing room. It's not just the egregious violations of personal space that gets me, but it's as if some people aren't even aware of or respect the people around them. Drives me nuts. People dropping by unannounced. Story 5. Being inexact in wording. I can't stand being misunderstood. It makes me feel like an idiot. I hate it when I say something to someone and they misunderstand, and I realize it was because I wasn't clear. Find it hard to properly articulate sometimes. Story 6. Off-leash dogs when there is an applicable leash law. Then the unleashed dog runs over to people with a leash dog while the owner is yelling at the unleashed dog. Story 7. I work from home, so people asking for a Teams call to explain in 20 mins what could be much more transparently and traceably explained in a 20-word email. Story 8. Co-workers getting smoking and vaping breaks when non-smokers don't. Write off PPL who walk slow in front of you like they own the street. Move or get bumped. Story 9. When someone opens something that has plastic but doesn't take the plastic all the way off, for example, sour cream, my GF will open the tub and peel back the plastic almost all the way, but then smooths it back down and puts the lid back on. Story 10. Stay out of my personal bubble. Don't try me. I will give you a dirty look. And if that doesn't do the trick, I will tell you to back up and get out of my story. 11. Whistling. My husband and many others mindlessly whistle when they're cooking or doing other things, and I just want to pull my hair out. Doesn't matter if it's soft or loud. Story 12. If I give someone a ride and they leave their empty Starbucks cup in my drink holder. Like, I gave you a ride, buddy, and you expect me to take your garbage out too? Also, anyone who calls themselves a snob Nazi about certain things, like I'm a grammar Nazi, just write off, okay? Story 13. When I go to someone's house and their dog is sniffing my and won't stop, like, are you kidding? Stop being a pervert, it's so embarrassing. Also, when I get licked by a dog or when I pet them and my hand smells like the fur. Don't get me wrong, I love dogs and animals, but honestly, I only like dogs from a distance. They are way too much for me. Story 14. Chomping gum. Close your frickin' mouth, you look like a horse. People chew gum so differently than normal food, myself included, so I don't chew gum anymore. Story 15. When people eat food in the grocery store without having had paid for it yet. They intend to, but they go around eating the chips, drinking the Red Bull before they pay for it. I get giving a whiny baby some fruit, but irks me when adults do it. Story 16. People walking slowly, or worse, people walking slowly behind other people walking slowly, but decide to move to another part of the sidewalk. Now both slow walking groups are blocking most of the sidewalk. Story 17. I work in a pharmacy and answer the phone many times a day. Nothing irritates me more than people asking me how I am. Thank you for calling pharmacy. This is blah blah. How may I help you? This is so-and-so. How are you? I then need to waste my time with emo K and am then supposed to, I suppose, inquire about them. They don't care how I am, and I don't care how they are. You're wasting my time, just tell me what you want. People telling me to have a blessed day me off too. How phony. Story 18. Having the volume up on your phone to the max and having text notification noises turned on. The loud dinging does my head in, but I hear it everywhere. Story 19. Not taking the extra second to put the shopping cart away neatly, let alone having the decency to take it to the corral instead of leaving it in the middle of the parking lot. Story 20. I can't explain it well because I don't know why it makes me so angry. But when people in the wild do the most cliché things. Example would be when everyone is waiting in a long checkout line and someone turns around to complain, and then everyone starts laughing, agreeing, complaining. I sometimes catch myself staring with no expression, oops. When people cheer over things that aren't sports celebrations, etk. When someone is clearly the storyteller of the group and it feels so performative but everyone eats it up. IDKYM this way. Story 21. Whispers and ASMR. I get a negative visceral reaction to it. I can't stand it. It could definitely be a form of torture for me, and I have no clue why. I wish it could relax me like it does other people. Story 22. When I was in school, pep rallies. They were annoying and way too loud. They literally held a contest to judge which grade was the loudest in the crowd. Story 23. When someone sneezes repeatedly, it absolutely pisses me off. I have to leave the room, or I get angry. I know it's completely irrational, but oh my god, does it irritate me. Story 24. When you pull up to a multiple lane stop, light a few feet ahead of a person in the lane next to you. Then that person inches forward to look in your car. Weirdo behavior. Story 25. Getting annoyed at notifications on your phone. It's something you have a lot of control over, yet choose to get annoyed by. Not everything needs to buzz ding. Story 26. The doctor's offices that give you 2 times for your appointment. Doc office. Your appointment is at 10, so you should come at 9:30 me. So my appointment is really at 9:30 doc office. No, it's at 1000. Story 27. I know I will probably get made fun of for this, but don't care. It's blowing your nose in the middle of a meal. To me, it just completely ruins my appetite. Someone blowing snot into a napkin or whatever they have is not a noise that I want to hear when I'm trying to eat. Story 28. Dog owner entitlement. Dogs need to be on leash, but my little baby is perfect. Of course you want to pat my dog. I don't need to pick up my babies on the sidewalk. List goes on. Story 29. People who, when you spoil something that is in no way recent. My friend and I were discussing Stranger Things and his girlfriend glared at me for spoiling a plot point. My dude, that thing happened in season 1. 9 years ago. I'm not out here spoiling things of a show that just aired last night. Story 30. When people walk their dog on a 10-foot leash, taking up the whole sidewalk while they're on their phone not paying attention. It forces whoever walks by to navigate through them both. Story 31. The wrong use of the word boundary. People saying things like, I told my boyfriend that putting an empty milk jug in the fridge crosses a boundary of mine. Story 32. Conflicting sounds. For example, the TV is on, and someone is talking and another person is watching something on their phone. Or if 2 conversations are happening loudly next to me. Story 33. People on these boards saying they're bawling their eyes out. It's bawling. The W matters. It's the difference between crying and gouging your eyes out with a melon scoop. Story 34. I'm old, and this pet peeve isn't something that probably affects younger people too much, but I hate when you're watching a music video and they stop the song midway for horrible dialogue acting. Don't interrupt the song. It ruins it. Story 35. People being close-minded with food. I can't stand it. People have their own comfort levels, sure, but it's really not going to hurt you at all to try a new food or understand that food is different for every culture. Story 36. Babies crying in public. Most people, especially older, think it's cute edit since people on Reddit can't seem to read between the lines. Let me state this. The baby crying isn't annoying. Nothing being done about it is the annoying part. Story 37. People who ride bikes in the road when there is clearly a sidewalk or bike trails. It just doesn't make sense to me that you have to wear a seatbelt on the road and cars are so dangerous, but you want to ride a bike next to a very, very large metal bullet? Story 38. When people leave their shopping cart in the middle of the aisle while they look at every option on the shelves. Just grab the grape jelly and keep it moving. Story 39. My husband uses a fork on a glass plate while we're watching TV. He gets the dirty look from me but is not getting it. He also flosses his teeth with a grocery bag. I don't think I'm irrationally angry about it. Anyone would be like, WTH, dude? Story 40. Poor English spelling and grammar by American-born citizens while tourists speak and spell more accurately. Especially Americans writing losing when they mean losing, would have, could have, should have, etc. Story 41. I also hate people that take advantage of or hurt intimidate small kids, women, and animals with size, skill, or weapons, but I do not think I'm alone in that category. Story 42. Everything issue now being a diagnosis. Kid not listening? Get him checked for autism. You're scattered and forgetful? You've got ADHD? Your relationship is dysfunctional? You're definitely trauma bonded. No. Some cases that may be legit, but it shouldn't be the first port of call. Kids not listening? Check your parenting practices. Stop parenting through a phone. Spend more time with your kids. Be more consistent with expectations. You're scattered and forgetful? Put down the phone and constant sources of dopamine. Make lists. Put a bit more effort into addressing it. Relationship dysfunctional? Maybe you aren't compatible. Maybe your expectations are too high. Maybe he's just abusive. Story 43. Common sayings. Like it is what it is. Get a life. And feed 'em beans. Whatever. All of these phrases are misused by the people around me and used so repetitively and in situations where I feel it is ridiculous. My mill one time was drunk and said the phrase whatever, and it is what it is like 200 times in 5 minutes. Edit formatting when people don't push their chairs in. Not only is it sloppy and inconvenient, it is also a huge safety hazard. Story 44. I cannot stand getting the hiccups. As a kid, I could get rid of them super easy by holding my breath. As an adult, it's like they're more powerful. Nothing can stop them, nothing but time. Hiccups will drive me to kill. Story 45. When people at a self-checkout use the hand scanner for every item instead of just using the scanner. Pisses me off for no reason. Edit. I saw that mean comment, so let me say this. It's not for no reason. It pisses me off because it makes the scanning slower. As a cashier, if I used my hand scanner for every singular item, customers would be pissed because I'm going to slow. So there's that. Story 46. I can't watch other people brush their teeth. It really grosses me out. I have to cover my eyes when that kind of scene shows up in a TV show or movie. And if they are talking while they are brushing, oh my god, horrible. Story 47. I would literally rather someone let a door close on me than for them to hold the door open for me with their hand planted on the glass window. Someone has to clean that. Even worse when they do it while you're actively wiping the windows clean, like read the room. Story 48. People posting on Facebook selling for a friend who doesn't have Facebook and it's a toaster or something. No, sir, you are not. And even if you are, nobody needs to know that. It's irrelevant. But imagine that conversation. Hey, Jimmy, I need to get rid of this toaster. How? I don't have Facebook. No worries. I'll post it for you. Yeah. No. That conversation doesn't happen. It's your toaster. Story 49. Oh, this is fantastic timing because I have thought about creating this exact post lately. I cannot stand when someone says, maybe it's just me or am I the only one? Yes. In a world with billions of people, you are absolutely the first and only person to think whatever you're about to say. Stop. I hate it. And it's so stupid to hate it. I hate that I hate it. Story 50. When people just let doors slam behind them. Like, for the love of God, would it really have been that hard to close the door behind you? Especially in lecture halls like homie, you are 15 minutes late, and now we all have to listen to your grand slam entrance. Story 51. People who don't return their shopping cart at all. Just leave it in the parking lot wherever. Lazy a-holes. Second are the ones who don't push the carts together in the corral. Christ, people. We all know that carts nest together, don't leave them all higgledy-piggledy. Story 52. Confusing aisle and aisle. It is dumb, and I'm usually not bothered by people using incorrect words or misspelling typos, etc. But for some reason, this specific pair of words bothers me when they are misused. Story 53. Could've, would've, should've instead of could've, would've, should've. Makes me think I could've. The would've should've plucked my eyes out instead of reading it, and no one but me seems to care. LOL. Story 54. When I open a soda and there's only one of two appropriately carbonated sips, and the rest goes flat immediately. A few years ago, the carbonation lasted. Now it doesn't. Story 55. When I am at work, gas station, and the whole building is shaking because some guy has the bass up in his car so high, it's got to be classified as a sonic weapon, and they can't be bothered to turn their car off. Like, I'm in the back of the store, and I'm nasos from the sound shaking my everything when they're on the opposite end of the lot, blasting away at 3 in the freaking morning. Story 56. People who insist on backing up really big cars and trucks into parking spaces. They hold everybody up to do so. Yes, it might make it easier to pull out of the space later, but you are taking up time backing it in to begin with. I just find it really annoying. Story 57. When people get angry about the weather. With everything that we have to be angry about, getting so upset about something you have absolutely no control over seems like such a waste of energy. It's always bugged me. Grab an umbrella and get on with your day. Story 58. Being talked to when I'm trying to watch something. I can't hear two things at once. And no, I don't care where you've seen that actor before. If you want to discuss franchise lore, I'm down, but pause it first. Story 59. The sound of fluorescent lights. The glare is bad enough, but they are so loud. Even with the hindsight of realizing that my Gen X gifted and talented childhood was probably undiagnosed autism, I still wonder how normal humans tolerate fluorescent lights, much less make them mainstream office decor. They are so awful. Maybe people hate their office jobs because they don't realize that the fluorescent lights are causing such horrible distress. Story 60. People picking at their nails or cuticles. I have really good hearing, and in a quiet room I can hear the constant click-click. The noise bothers me, but it also inexplicably skeeves me out. Story 61. When people are incorrect about something but they say I lied. You didn't lie, you were incorrect. Lying is actually worse than just admitting you were incorrect. Story 62. There's an entire platform open at the station, yet you decide to stand on the bottom step of the only stairs onto the platform. Walk 3M to your left, and there's 8 seats, all covered from the weather. Yet you just stand there in the one spot that is the most inconvenient to every other person. Story 63. Eating, opening cans, or candy during musical performance. I go to local theater for opera or small venue shows. They serve drinks and snacks in the lobby, but during intermissions. Who waits to open during the performance? I want to climb over the seats and take their wrappers. Story 64. Strangers trying to make small talk. My service dog is not an open invitation to just start talking to me. Her name age is none of your business. I have a very small social battery. I'm sick tired of others deciding that they can just use it up.